Hello, welcome. It's Mary Angela. Love to support you today. And we are all going through amazing transitions. And as we are in between seasons, this is an important time to really ground ourselves and face our fire, which is what I'm focusing on today. It's what I was guided to do. So I want to start with making sure that we're connected. Through transitions, we can become quite unstable and our base chakra can become very erratic and fragmented. And this can contribute to us feeling quite scattered and chasing things that don't actually support us. So by making your alignment, connecting to the divine, making sure that you are fully in the present. If we are in the past, worrying about the past, there's so much turmoil right now. That's why I was guided to come on. The escalation of fear around the world, and as empaths and sensitives, we can really be pulled into all of those experiences of other people's feelings when they aren't ours. So today I'm really focusing on you being connected to the center of your peace. So making that alignment as you come down from the divine, making sure that you are coming through your central channel. Often when I'm doing this with my clients, hi Marin, they are leaking out. So we want to ask to bring that right down through our center, through our brain, through the pineal gland, which activates our intuition, down through the throat and into our heart, down into the center of the earth, into the earth star chakra. So we're making this alignment that we are here, grounded. We can relax with that breath and now bring up that earth connection. Often we are always leaking out to the top and connecting to our guides, but we forget our connection to the earth. So as we connect to Mother Earth, we are asking to feel the rhythm of Mother Earth, Oshana, our alignment to the heartbeat of Mother Earth, so that we are not racing ahead, that our heart is in rhythm to peace and love and stillness. That's it. I can feel this connection as you're doing this with me. So making that connection to the divine and to the earth into your heart now. Breathing in both directions, holding for a count of 3, and then breathing out into the body. We are opening up our channel. Right now the channel for us feels a bit thin, narrow, so that we can't receive everything that we need. So breathing in, holding for 3 to activate the healing, the breath that is carried through the pranic breath, and then out into our physical body. Just feel that expansion and widening of that channel. That's it. It's great. Breathing in again, holding for 3. And then expanding the energy out into the auric field. We often forget that we are surrounded by this beautiful energetic space, and it can be quite vacant at times, and this is us learning to hold our own space, hold our own energy, so that way we're not bombarded by the fear that's going around the world right now. Breathing in, holding into that heart, breathing out. Now, as we're doing this, why I'm talking today about the face your fire is we can, because we are in transitions, we're bumping up against the next growth edge. We are moving into a new season. With this new season, we get an opportunity to expand. And if we want to expand, we have to let go of something first. And we're always shedding, we're always letting go of something to open space for something new. So we are always growing more hair, more nails, more blood cells. In nature, there's always more leaves or fruit or seeds, and then they fall off and then they grow again. So being really comfortable with this cycle of letting go naturally, so that it's not forced upon us, and that way we can open up into something new. So as I was saying, we're bumping up to this new growth edge, and for us to expand into that, we have to let go of something. So the fire today we are facing is about facing our fears, something that we need to let go of, something that has held us back, and it's often about being silenced, or we can't express what we want to say, or there isn't enough compassion with the other person, so we often shut ourselves down. So with this We always need to go back to our ancestors. I'm really strongly connected to my ancestors, and we carry them in ourselves. We can go back 14 generations and those experiences are stored in our body. So it's really important to clear what those ancestors have gone through and their issues about being silenced, especially our grandmothers, because we are here and the females often carried a lot more trauma. So as you're breathing in and opening up into the heart, we're asking to let go of the next layer that the grandmothers are carrying, that they were silenced, they were held back, they weren't able to expand. And because of that, there's an irritation coming up, because if we want to expand, there's a fear of, what if it's authority? What if it's the government? What if it's the church? My upbringing was very strongly around very male-dominated patriarchal societies that shut down my family. So I'm sharing this because there might be something in your heritage as well about not being safe in the culture that you grew up in, especially if you go back generations, and all of those stories are stored in the body, in the tissues. Okay, so as we're breathing in, I want to activate the solar plexus above your navel. So breathing in from both directions, breathing out front and back, solar plexus, just opening up. This is our courage, our confidence, our self-worth, self-value, our future. And this is where we can get stuck with the fear of, I don't want to be too strong or too assertive. There might be some judgment about how I actually express myself, because I have been in a pattern of shutting down before. I haven't had the space to express well because somebody's cut me off too early. So as we're breathing in, we're drawing in the energy from the divine, from the angelic realm. We're drawing in the energy from the earth. And that starts to amalgamate and create a new synergy within the solar plexus as we ask to let go of something, the next layer where you were holding yourself back. If we ask to connect to a time in the past of something that you really wanted to do, but you might have held yourself back, and you've had times over your lifetime to really try and do that, to try and overcome. There's something that you really wanted to face. Your fire is your potential. It's also your fear. So once we overcome and not just get stuck on, oh, it's too hard, I don't want to do it, that fear creates the blockage. It's an internal belief that I can't do it, I'm not good at it. There might be a perfectionist aspect coming in. But to move through this transition, we want to make space for something fantastic, a new opportunity to come in. So for me, it was about singing. I really wanted to sing when I was little, but my upbringing was very constricted and I wasn't encouraged. And this all relates to our intuition, because aspects of ourselves that we're holding back also connects to our guidance and how we express our guidance or our spiritual gifts. So for me, singing, I wanted to be, I might have shared this with you before, but it's important to bring this up now because we go through layers. There's another layer that's coming up that needs to be released. So as I share my story, there might be something similar. I wanted to be in the choir. I was too scared. My voice was too small. And the teacher came up really close, put his ear up against my face, trying to hear me. And I was just whispering, and no, I wasn't allowed in the choir. And so there was a fire burning over the years. I want to sing. I wasn't good at singing. I sang out of tune. But eventually I found the right teacher, and I was in a women's group, other women that had been told they couldn't sing. So I had that fire, that drive. I want to do this. I didn't know years later that I would be a sound healer, that I would be able to use my voice to tone, to bring healing through my words, so that I could help other people and transform something within them. And it wasn't about really singing in tune or delivering a fabulous performance, because with my singing teacher, we were put into those situations of being on stage and feeling that fear and facing that fire of, can I do it? Am I up to this? Can I face this? What will they do if I stuff up? All of the adrenaline coming through being on stage and experiencing that potential judgment. But I was an empath. I was absorbing everyone else's fears. So it just made things so much more intense for me. I didn't realize I was carrying all this legacy of my own inheritance, my own grandmother's carrying this fear of speaking or singing, but also everybody else around me. So as we activate this solar plexus, we want to move through what is it that you really wanted to do, and how many opportunities have you had to face that. And as you do that, you are opening up space for more, just even acknowledging and having compassion for your younger self that perhaps couldn't do those things, that let yourself down. You didn't have the courage in the past, but now you're moving forward. So I had multiple opportunities of being on stage with the group, and then in a smaller group, and eventually by myself, so that over time I got desensitized. I was still petrified. Public speaking, singing is one of my greatest fears. And so I wouldn't say I would use the word confront, because that's very masculine, but I gave myself the opportunity to practice that skill again. So what is it that you're facing that if you were a bit more daring and that you want to awaken your inner diva? So something that you really would inspire you, that feel passionate about, something might even be around dance, something creative, because that fire within the solar plexus is what's going to rise up and give you that potential, that oomph, that boost, that creative fuel that you need to expand. So as I'm talking about my experience of what it felt like that first time being on stage and having that rush of, wow, I actually did it. It wasn't perfect. It was pretty messy, but I did it. And that claiming of, I can do this, is really important. So I'd love you to share what you're experiencing, whether this is afterwards, because you know I'm here to support you. So we're moving past that bumping up of that condition of, I'm too fearful, I can't do this, it's too scary. And as you are activating that fire within you, breathing that out, we're moving that energy of optimism, of hope, of inspiration, of daring. Use that breath so that every cell is feeling this activation. Every cell is starting to fire up and feel more committed, more magnetized. Hi, Gaino. And then we want that to go out into the energetic field, because we need to have this sense of being held. Because if you go out there on stage or to speak to somebody or to relay a message, without this container, it can feel really wobbly. It can feel very exposed. So let's bring that fire, and let's bring in a crystal. It might be citrine or carnelian or one of the agates, jasper or mookaite. What color is it for you, so that you are being embraced by this fiery hope and optimism, daring, the positive fire, this inner diva, I'm calling it. And you might want to visualize this version of this inner diva and what that looks like for you. Something that's really extroverted, that's very out there, and there is this aspect of you in there. Hi Ness, how are you? So we have all these parts of us, this fearful part that can keep us held back, that was 5 or 7 years old of me, wanting to be in the choir, or this other older version that wants to come out. There's all these aspects of ourselves, and if we get stuck in the fear and the worry, that will take us down, and then we can't transition into all these opportunities that want to open up to us for the new season. So as we become this frequency of the diva, of carnelian, say for example, or what is it for you, what that diva looks like? For me, it might be, there might be a singer that really calls you, or a performer, and then wanting to be some of those qualities, because we have those qualities inside us. For me, like Kate Sobrano, I really love her. She's really natural, she's confident, she's herself. And there's an aspect of her that is a mirror to me, that I can see I could have those qualities in me. So what is your performer look like for you, so that you can have a bit more of a tangible expression that reflects back what would that look like, so that you can feel that in your body and have more of an evidence of, yes, this is what I'm working towards, so that you're holding this frequency much more strongly now as I'm sharing this in the group. So there's different layers coming in, so that you are grounding and more connected, and feeling this elevation of, I can transition. This frequency carries out a broadcast. Now we can open new doors, because we are becoming the new quality. This new quality that we didn't have, a few minutes ago, is now pulsing through our energy field. It's pulsing through the cells. It's creating more light in our body. And so holding this frequency throughout the day will help you to connect differently to friends, to your community, because this is about why we rise up. Otherwise, we can't express ourselves, whether it's through movement or your voice or your creativity, through your art, your writing. There's something that wants to be birthed, that wants to emerge right now. And as you do this frequency, you're starting to bubble up what it is that your guides are giving you the insight of what the new doorway is for you. So make that connection, and over this today, really focus on these qualities. And tomorrow morning, bring those through. I'll be here again tomorrow at 10, so you can come again and we'll check in on those changes. I'll be here all week, so that I can support you with transition over the season, and get a sense of what you are becoming, what quality are you. Journal those things, so that you have more of a deeper activation of what you want to transform into. What is it that you want to do for the next 3 months? Why I share these things is because it's about, this is a layer that's holding you back from activating your gifts, whether it's the teacher, the intuitive, the speaker, the healer, the leader, the connector, the shaman. All these aspects are held back to certain experiences in the past. As we release those, then we step more into our spiritual gifts. I am a channel. I channel different frequencies, and so these I have been doing through many lifetimes, and I know those of you here in my community have done similar things. So that's why I'm hoping that this is going to help you to rise up for the next 3 months, that you can step into what you are here to do, that you are remembering your qualities. And usually at the end of my posts, I say, live on purpose, change the world. And it isn't necessarily about changing the world in a big way. For you, for all of us, it's changing our inner world, our inner landscape, because that's what makes the difference. When we become something different, then this ripples out a different frequency. Our relationships improve, our work improves, we're so much happier, we create freedom in ourselves, we move from being in doubt and scattered and unstable into trusting, clear, authentic, grounded, peaceful, so that we can be the anchor for others. You're here in my community because you have healing abilities. I'm asking you to step up into the next phase of your evolution for this next 3 months in the season of spring. For you, if you're listening from somewhere else around the world, it might be autumn, but it is about this expansion of what it is you're here to bring, and bringing these different layers today, so that you are rising up, because you have to become that inner change. You have to bring this new frequency, so that you are supporting our own environment. This is how we create change in the world. This is how we heal the earth. This is how we change the environment. We become what we want to see in the world. So it starts from you. It starts from now. It all starts now. This beginning, this transition. So I hope this has supported you. Love to hear your comments. I will respond. So big love, and I'd love to hear what happens over the day and being more daring and bringing your frequency in, and just even to do some singing, do some toning, because that changes some grit in the body, some old frequencies that are holding back some old beliefs and fears that you don't even necessarily need to know what that is, but you are shaking it up, shaking up your internal world so that it's releasing and making space for the new that wants to emerge. So big love for today. I'll see you tomorrow.